The WWE just finished their most recent round of talent releases, and it has a few shockers in the mix. Now, this is something that they do once or twice a year, so it's no surprise when it happens, but the people that are released are usually understandable or somewhat make sense. This go around had a few that just don't make sense at all. So let's talk about it. Now, this isn't a fun video to make because these are people's jobs, these are people's livelihoods. But I think there's a bright side for just about everybody that was released. I don't think I don't think everything is so dark and bleak as it could be for others who maybe should have been released. Now, I waited a long time to make this video after some rumors of more releases coming, and they may be coming, but I'm not building this channel off rumors. I'm building this channel off facts and current events. So this is what we know now at the time of this recording. There could be more releases coming. I don't know, but this is what we know for sure. Let's start it off with Gallows and Anderson, the Good Brothers. They haven't been on TV since September 24th, and they were mostly used in between NXT and Smackdown. This is a blow to the tag division because I thought that maybe, just maybe, they would get a chance to shine with the big push for, especially on SmackDown, the big push for the tag team titles. I don't quite get this one, as there's a lot of different avenues they could have gone by keeping them around. I tweeted this out not even a week ago. Finn Balor is somewhat on outs with the Judgment Day, and Gallows and Anderson are sitting at home. They could have put them together and semi-reformed the Bullet Club. Obviously, WWE is not too high on reusing ideas from other companies, but it would have been really, really cool to see, even just for a one-off, one-shot appearance. The Good Brothers are former 3-time tag team champions, and if they weren't being used, my next thought was maybe transitioning them into trainers, as they were seen on NXT a lot. And the NXT men's tag team division is just flooded with talent. I think it would have been really cool to see them be trainers, but maybe that's just something that they didn't want, right? Like, I'm making assumptions about jobs that they could have turned down. But Gallows and Anderson will be fine. They've been in this business a long time, and they have always been able to find work. They will continue to find work, no problem. The probable landing spots, in my head at least, for the Good Brothers is New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, or Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which is Scott D'Amore, the former owner of TNA, his new promotion that, if you haven't been watching, is a fantastic promotion. They've put on some great events so far, but they're not a weekly event style, so not sure. But Scott D'Amore did tweet after they were released that business was about to pick up, with a few pictures of him and some old Bullet Club members that included Gallows and Anderson. So the hope for them is they'll find work soon. There's no reason for them not to find work soon, unless they just want to call it quits and throw in the towel, which they've had long and incredible careers. So if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But I do believe we will be seeing them in some form or fashion very soon. Next up, we have Giovanni Vinci, which honestly to me was one of the more surprising ones. He hasn't been on TV since September 20th and has rarely been seen since being taken out of Imperium after the hype that he had coming back with the vignettes and all the videos and everybody was ready for him to have his own singles run and just go crazy, because he is an incredible talent. He is a crazy, crazy, crazy good wrestler. But then he got squashed twice and was never seen again. Now, I don't know why that was the case. There was a chance for a story about him fighting Imperium and maybe regaining some of that honor and respect back from Imperium by, beating Ludwig Kaiser. Probably wouldn't beat Gunther the way that Gunther is being booked right now. Probably wouldn't beat Gunther, but at least beat Kaiser and maybe somebody else. But Imperium feels weird with only 2 members. I never really understood taking him out of Imperium to begin with. But he is a former 2-time NXT Tag Team Champion. Just a great talent. It's so sad to see him go. I really think that he should have been sent back to NXT, because the NXT men's division is slowly dying. They will be losing their best talent very soon, with nobody coming to pick up the slack anytime soon. And Giovanni Vinci could have at least bridged the gap between the old guard and the new guard coming in, and probably done a fantastic job doing that. But obviously he was released. In my head, I don't know where he goes, because since 2018 he has worked for the WWE, and I don't know, he might go back to Europe and might be a big part of the indie scene in Europe, which, hey, there's a lot of successful wrestlers that are on the indie scene in Europe. I can't knock him if he wants to do that, but I honestly don't see where he goes in the United States at this point. Progress Wrestling is kind of picking up steam, so I would assume that he would land in Progress, and I think he would do really well there. Isla Dawn is another release that happened Friday that really just kind of shocked everyone. It's a former member of Unholy Union, a tag team that had not split up, a tag team that was still together and still wrestling. Last seen on TV January 14th in a number 1 contenders tag team championship match. That's what's insane. This is why this release is crazier than a lot of the other releases that they've done. A lot of these people have been on TV recently. It's not like they've been sitting at home for months. These people have been on TV within a few weeks, and were great on TV within the last few weeks. Now, I don't know about backstage or what's going on in their personal lives, right? I try not to pry into those things because I still want an air of mystery about wrestling, but I just don't understand these releases. Isla Dawn is one of those big ones that I just don't get. She was on a speed match that aired February 7th, 3 days before she was released. She was on a speed match that aired February 7th. The day she was released, she was on a speed match. Now, granted, that's not technically a TV match, but it was pre-recorded. If they knew when they were posting it, it's not a secret when these matches are coming out. She was the part of the last NXT Women's Tag Team Champions and a former Women's Tag Team Champion on the main roster. Held these belts recently, mind you. Held these belts very, very recently. Only lost them to the current champion. It doesn't make sense. This one really baffles my mind, along with 2 more on this list. This one just really just doesn't compute up here. Why let half of a tag team go in a struggling tag team division? A very, very thin roster for women's tag team wrestling on the main roster. NXT has a great women's tag team division. The main roster is almost dead. Why would you let half of a good team go? especially if you claim you're pushing for more tag team wrestling. Doesn't make sense. She will be fine though. She will find her footing, probably just like Giovanni Vinci back in Europe, doing things on the indie scene with Progress. She, as well as many other European talents, started working for the WWE in 2018. And she has an incredible list of promotions that she has previously worked for that she could, without a doubt, go back to and probably be their top star pretty easily. So she'll be fine. Could go to ICW, Progress. You know, there's a lot of wrestling going on in Europe right now that us as Americans may not see as much. And if you are in Europe watching this, please leave a comment and recommend some more European wrestling promotions to watch. I'd love to check some out. I've been watching some Progress. I've watched some ICW, but a lot of these are mysteries to me, and I'd like to expand my horizons if possible. Another woman that doesn't quite make sense, but does make sense a little bit, right, is Blair Davenport. What doesn't make sense is the point of calling her up from NXT to only use her a handful of times, then release her. She was last seen on TV November 22nd. And like, what was the point? I don't get it. This is another time where they've had an NXT call up. The NXT wrestler is good. It's not a problem with the wrestler being bad. The wrestler is good, and they let him go. This is not the first time that this has happened, and this won't be the last. It baffles my mind that you would call somebody up and then kill their career. It doesn't make any sense. But Blair Davenport probably has one of the better outcomes of this, I believe. I really do believe it. Before she was with the WWE, she had an incredible run with Stardom from 2019 to 2021, where she earned the nickname Top Gaijin, which, if you know anything about Japanese professional wrestling, to be a Top Gaijin is a big thing. That's a very, very big thing. Before this, she was also rumored to be working with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven as extra security, but that was never actually fleshed out. I just don't think they ever quite figured out how to work that out. But like, give her something, man. Like, I don't know. This is another one that just doesn't quite make sense. It makes sense, but it doesn't quite make sense at the same time. I do believe she will find her footing though, pretty easily. TNA, Marigold, Stardom, TJPW, like, she's got a litany of places to go that will welcome someone with her pedigree and caliber and make them a champion, right? Make them probably not top of the card, right? But at least very, very close. And Duke Hudson. Now, Duke Hudson was released earlier in the week, but we haven't seen him on TV since October 9th. Now, this one, as shocking as it was, does make a little sense. I have to be honest. Duke was a great worker, right? He is a great worker. He's good, really, really good in the ring, really good on the mic, but he was also involved in a long-term stable that I don't believe would have carried over to the main roster to begin with. Now, my thought behind the breakup of Chase U was potentially seeing Chase U members on the main roster. But no, one of them gets released. I really don't know what's going on with this one. Triple H is rumored to be quoted that he didn't see him as a main roster star. Now, I don't know how true that is, but a few news outlets did report that. And I don't understand why not. Like, the mid-card division is dying on both shows. Like, it was really, really good for a little while, and now it's kind of getting stale. They're not moving people in and out of the mid-card division as they should. It's the same people over and over and over again. They could have easily put him in the mix of Raw or SmackDown in the mid-card division and change the game up just a little bit, right? Just change it up a little bit. But I don't know. His probable landing spot, I'm also not too sure of. He was a prominent wrestler in Australia before signing with the WWE, and he could go back to Australia. I don't see anything wrong with that. Could go back to Australia with all the experience gained and become one of Australia's best wrestlers. Who knows? He is the one that I'm the most unsure about. I take that back. The second most unsure about, because the next people we will cover, I am the most unsure about. But it is sad to see him go. I will say it is sad to see him go, but it does make sense. It does. Now, this next one is another one that doesn't quite make sense. In Akam, Razor, and Paul Ellerling, all three released. They were last seen on TV December 9th as part of the Final Testament faction, which I guess the Final Testament is done. They never really broke up once again. Just like with Unholy Union, they never broke up. They didn't have a big breakup and a big falling out. They just got released. I'm not sure if Akam and Razor will work again, right? They only have worked for the WWE. There's a 3-year gap from the last time they worked for the WWE and when they were rehired. Didn't work for a single other company. Now, Paul Ellerling, on the other hand, is a legend in the business, right? He can find work if he wants it. No problem. Any promotion would be happy to have Paul Ellerling on their roster in some form or capacity. I do hope that he sticks with the Authors of Pain, right? I do hope so, because I think the Authors of Pain have a real shot at being a good tag team if somebody can speak for them. I really hope that they can make this transition into another company like TNA or AEW. I really hope so, but if their track record says anything, they will not be working until WWE calls again, which I don't understand. I don't get it. But I don't really have anything to say. It doesn't make sense. Why break up the Final Testament? It was starting to work. The Final Testament was finally starting to work, and they cut over half of it. Now this next one really got me. This one shocked me. Cedric Alexander. Now, Cedric Alexander is currently involved in a storyline. It's not like he's been sitting at home. He's currently involved in a storyline with Javon Evans and Ethan Page on NXT right now. Literally right now. This is the most insane release out of all of them. This is the one that I just do not understand. I don't get it at all. It makes zero sense. None at all. A former 24/7 champ, cruiserweight champion, and a tag team champion. I feel like Cedric Alexander never got the respect he deserved in the WWE for sure. Right. 100%. He deserves so much more out of his career with the WWE. But to be released during a storyline is crazy. Now, he could have asked for his release, right? He could have said, hey, I'd like to leave. This isn't working anymore. And they said, okay, and granted it. And he just happened to fall within their most recent mass release. I don't know, but it baffles me. It blows my mind. He was literally on TV 2 weeks ago. January 28th was his last TV appearance. He wrestled Ethan Page as part of the storyline with him, Javon Evans. And make it make sense. It can't make sense. But Cedric Alexander will be fine. Cedric Alexander will probably be joining AEW and join the Hurt Syndicate. It's already been hinted. Nothing set in stone, right? but it's been hinted a little bit. So Cedric Alexander will be perfectly fine. He'll be on TV within the next 90 days. I don't have a doubt in my mind. Maybe a little bit longer, because of booking, blah, 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 whatever. But he will be on TV again very soon. Now, another shocker, another big shocker. Sonya Deville, last seen at the Royal Rumble on February 1st. This month, last week, February 1st, the Royal Rumble. Why put her in there if you're going to release her? Shotzi was removed from the Royal Rumble for Alexa Bliss. Why keep Sonya Deville in if you're going to release her? Shotzi could have taken Sonya's spot if you know that Sonya's time is done. I don't get it, man. I don't get it anymore. I just don't understand. I wasn't even a huge fan of Sonya Deville, right? I'm not really high on Pure Fusion Collective. And now this is a third faction that they have potentially broken up or just pulled somebody out of, right? I don't get it. I don't get it. She's a former tag team champion, a former GM. I don't know. I think she'll be fine though, right? I think she'll be fine. Probably landing on AEW or TNA, right? She's going to be fine. She'll find her footing. But it just doesn't make sense. It just really just doesn't make sense. And the last one that came out Sunday, when I thought we were done with releases, I'm recording this on Sunday. This happened this morning. And it's why it's taken this so long for me to record this video, because it feels like every time I turn around to look and be like, hey, are we done with releases? They're like, oh, nope, here's one more. Elektra Lopez, last seen on TV Friday. Last seen on TV Friday with Legado del Fantasma. Her last match, December 6th. Not even a month ago. Over a month now. But, like, not long ago. She was a really good manager. A great manager for Legado del Fantasma. Like, what was the point? I don't get it. Now, she also will probably be fine, right? I think she will be able to find her footing somewhere else. Now, if we look at her career history, she has wrestled for a handful of other promotions, right? Mostly spent time with the WWE from 2021 up until Friday. But I don't know where she lands, but I'm pretty sure she'll land somewhere. Maybe not as a wrestler, right? But definitely as a manager. She is a very good manager. But I don't know. I just don't know anymore. When I thought the WWE couldn't surprise me, they shock you. And it's not a fun shock. But I think there's a light at the end of a tunnel for a mass majority of these wrestlers. I think this is an opportunity for them to do what Drew McIntyre did, what Matt Cardona is currently doing, right? Matt Cardona might not have made his way back to the WWE yet, but he has elevated his career far past what WWE could have done for him. And so this could be an opportunity for a lot of young wrestlers to gain some stable ground somewhere else and become the top dog somewhere. And maybe come back. Who knows? Maybe come back and be, just like Drew McIntyre, just like Cody Rhodes, right? We have seen these success stories. So it's not the end of the world. It might be the end of their career with the WWE for right now, but it's not the end of the world. But it still sucks, right? Still sucks. But that'll be it for this video. And if we get more news about releases, I'll make another short video, probably a short or something like that. just to update everybody on what's going on. But for this round, it's over. Hopefully. I sincerely hope so. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that if you're a fan of these wrestlers, I could provide just a little bit of hope for you for their future. I think they all have bright futures. I think this could be good for everybody, but it will take time to see. Thank you for watching.